Welcome back to You Guys in the Outdoors. This week we're going to talk about tree stand style hunting and all the different types. And that's going to take up several weeks to do. So hopefully you enjoy this series. What I'd like for you to do is please subscribe, leave a comment, share with others, and like this show. Thank you. Hi. Welcome back to Two Guys Outdoors. So we're out here at the Two Guys in the Outdoors Studio 2.
Studio 2.
Outdoor studio.
There you go. Outdoor studio. Indoor studio, outdoor studio.
Yeah. All right. So tonight we got a pretty good show, I think. We're going to start with our tree stand hunting and all the equipment you need to tree stand from a safety aspect and the different styles of tree stand hunting.
Absolutely.
So and it's going to be probably multiple sessions because we're going to go through each one of them pretty in depth and give our takes on it.
We're going to gear it to beginners.
Yep.
Because that's kind of what we're all about. This is probably, and I think Bob will agree with me here, this is probably one of the most important set of episodes that we're going to do for the safety aspect.
Yep.
Here in Virginia, we've got way too many hunters falling out of tree stands, and most of it's because they're either not wearing a fall arrest system or a harness, or they're not staying connected to the tree.
They're not wearing it properly and using it properly, or not wearing it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the 2020s, and there's still people out there that don't feel like they need it.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
And it's showing on the incident reports every year here in Virginia.
Yep.
And it's not just Virginia. It's across the nation. Yeah.
It's nationwide.
So please, you're gonna see Bob and I really stress safety and connecting to the tree with all the different systems and styles. You know, we're going to be talking about that. So some of this is going to be repeated, but it doesn't hurt to hear it more than once. And because, you know, as hunters, you know, a successful hunt to you and I is a hunt that we get to come home to our loved ones.
Yep.
And talk about what we saw or what we didn't see or what we missed or what we harvested or whatever. And
being able to say the stories.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so we're gonna be talking a lot about that. So, but we're not gonna spoil everything. So,
So what'd you do in the outdoors this past week?
well,
Or it's been a few weeks that we actually physically got together. So what have you done in the last few weeks?
well, let's see. What have I done? I have done a lot more getting my bow in my hands because I've been slacking on that. And so I've
Well, he's got an excuse. He had to put a roof on a house.
I did, and grandbabies. I'm not that old, by the way. Yeah, I'm finally getting to the point to where I'm shooting daily, and you know, checking trail cameras. It's August.
Mm-hmm.
Next month we can hunt. I mean, we can hunt squirrel and dove and some small game here in Virginia. So, man, it's time to get things going. So, yeah, I've been just preparing for the upcoming hunting season. My main focus is shooting. Yep.
Yeah, mine's the same thing. Getting prepared for a couple things. One, I'm getting prepared for the new season here in Virginia. Everybody knows that I've been moving over into the saddle type of hunting, which we'll get to that. So I've been doing a little bit of practice with that, trying to get my gear set up to where I can carry it because I'm wanting to hike into the woods a little bit more. If you've seen the last show, there's a challenge out there about backcountry camping, and we might combine it with some hunts. So I do need to start getting into the fitness part. So I've been trying to do that a little bit, doing a little bit of walking with a pack
with
about 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I went to the Virginia Mobile hunting or mobile show that was last weekend. Getting ready for my bear hunt. So it's getting real close.
I'm
So
jealous.
The
I'm jealous.
first week of September. So I'm chomping right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, just getting out there using the bow, getting the bow. I actually took my bow in to get tuned up, and he actually found some of the strands busted on the cable.
Okay.
So I had to get a new cable on that. But yep, just preparing for the week or for the hunting season.
Yeah, and that's and I'm sure the bow shop you took that bow to is happy that you brought it now and not the week before bow season comes in when everybody else brings stuff in. So,
and I'll give a plug for that one. That's Heartland Outfitters there in Dayton, Virginia.
there you go. Good, good bunch of people.
Yeah,
for
just
sure.
talk to Travis there. But,
There you go.
yeah, so preparation
Yeah,
and practice and training.
absolutely. So,
Okay.
so let's quit gabbing and let's start talking about hunting from tree stands or hunting from an elevated position. And we're just going to walk our viewers through what's available, right? What's available? Did a squirrel fall out of a tree?
Squirrel.
But we're not going to be pushing brands or anything like that. We're going to be talking about types,
Yep.
different methods of getting off the ground.
There's 100 different brands out there for everything that we're looking at. So.
Yeah. So before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about why hunters hunt from an elevated position. So a lot of you may know, but there's a lot of people that are new and from previous shows. Bob and I are about sharing our skills with new hunters, or recruiting new hunters, reactivating hunters, and retaining the hunters that we have because it's been declining nationwide for many years now. So, so let's talk a little bit. So why do hunters get elevated, Bob?
So I'll tell you why I get up. So though I like stalk hunting and I like ground hunting, okay. Was that a turkey?
Squirrel.
Hey, I'm just getting prepared for hunting. I mean, every noise you get when you're in the woods, right? Okay. I like being elevated because I can see a little bit further.
Yep.
Okay.
Visibility.
And I can camouflage myself a little bit more into the branches.
Yeah.
Okay. Where I'm down on the ground, I'm a big guy. People see me coming, and I'm not the quietest person in the world either.
Yeah.
So I don't do a very good stalk. Okay. But I get elevated just to where I'm a little bit out of the eyesight. Okay. Even though it seems like as the years go on, the deer are starting to look upwards.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because they're starting to realize it. But I'm trying to get out of the typical eyesight.
Yeah. And we can get away with a little bit more movement that way.
Yep.
Another reason, and that's one of the reasons I hunt from an elevated position, but another reason is the old white-tailed deer and bear, they use this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just getting into hunting, I mean, you can be inundated with equipment and scent elimination and all that stuff. One of the best tools is getting elevated to where your scent is carried above and beyond, the deer and the bear. So the two main reasons, let's face it, is we can see better and we can control our scent a little bit better that way. So,
Yep.
So
And
those are the two big ones.
That's a good point that I didn't even cross my mind right now. Scent and using the wind and all that stuff when you're up like that gives you a little bit more of a playground.
Yeah.
Versus right there with them.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that scent, your scent could, even though you could get scented, the wind's going straight towards them, it could go over them.
Yep.
You can figure that easily with like milkweed and stuff, where let some fly and see how far it'll go. And if it flies pretty far, you may be good, even if
Well,
the wind's going in that direction.
based on thermals,
Yeah.
if those thermals are rising, you got a whole lot better chance.
Oh,
But if
yeah.
them thermals are dropping, then you're in trouble. So, but anyway, we're not here to talk about wind or scent control. We're here to talk
Squirrel.
about elevated hunting. So, anyway,
And while you're up there, the squirrels will throw nuts at you.
all right, well, let's get started here.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about one of your first choices is what we call a lock-on stand. So you can see this stand has a strap that goes around. They're very. This is one of Bob's favorite stands, by the way. And let's talk about. It's got carrying straps. They're fairly mobile. They're lightweight, and you can put them in a variety of trees.
Right.
So they're very versatile. This is probably one of the first styles of tree stands designed and mass produced.
Yep.
It's been used for a long time, and we're going to get in depth on how to safely put one of these stands up and to make sure that it's positioned properly. Also,
What I like about these, I mean, yeah, you can get a really good harness to carry them with, and they are mobile, like what Jason said. Okay, you get one that's fairly light, not too heavy, but not too light. Okay, and it's got a fairly decent platform. Okay, for me, I know Jason disagrees a little bit, and that's okay. I can sit in this all day. Okay, this small little area doesn't mind. I'm a sitter anyway. Okay, I'm not much of a fidgeter. Okay, Jason's more of a run and gun, so he's wanting to get going. Okay, but I can sit there the whole day. I've done 8-hour hunts in this, 10-hour hunts in these things. Okay, you can flip them up, and you can get up and stand. You can sit down. So there is a little bit of movement. Okay, they are pretty secure. Okay, just like any of the other ones, it's going to be pretty secure once you get in there and get it locked in.
Yep.
Okay, but that's the reason why I like it. Okay, you get a fairly decent one in a fairly decent tree. You can sit there. I can sit there for all day.
yeah, they're very comfortable and lightweight and.
Now you can get the ones that's got the big old seats in them, and they actually got like almost recliners and the whole works.
And a lot of them are very adjustable. Because not every tree is perfectly straight.
Right.
And the tree, and what I mean by that is the tree that is closest to the game trail or closest to the food plot that you're hunting. So manufacturers are making these things a whole lot more user-friendly and adjustable.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the ones now, they bite into the tree so much that sometimes it's hard to get them undone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so the security with these things has gotten so much better since I was tree stand hunting way back.
Yeah.
Okay, and they make them to where you can get adapters where you just put the adapter on the tree.
And
they just slide on. You hook them up down at the bottom, and you can have multiple of them adapters with one stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a lot easier to hang them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variety with these. Yep. But are these the best one for you? It's a personal thing.
And that'll be up to you all.
Yeah, it's a personal thing.
With all tree stands, especially lock-ons, we get into saddles later on. Bob and I recommend, climbing sticks, rather than the screw-in type.
Oh, well, there's a reason for that.
You don't want to damage trees.
With that, plus it's against the rules in public ground.
Yeah.
Right? So on public grounds, you cannot screw anything in.
Yep, not supposed to. Yep, and they can pull out.
Yeah.
And so here's the safety piece. We don't recommend a screw in type step because it damages the tree. It may be illegal if you're hunting a buddy's property. They don't want you damaging their trees, and let's face it, they're not the safest option out there. So, a good climbing stick.
And we're going to show you a few
Yeah.
different styles of climbing sticks, but
And they won't damage the tree, and they're a whole lot safer, and it's like climbing a ladder. So
and I know some people are afraid of leaving their equipment out. Okay, whether it's any one of the systems that we have. Okay, you could always put a lock around it and lock it right to the tree. What I do a lot of times, I may leave my hang on out there, but I pull my sticks down. So unless they have a set of sticks, they're not getting up there.
yeah, if
Okay.
you're hunting public ground
you're
and
hunting
you're
public
afraid of somebody,
Yeah. So if your campsite's a few miles away and you don't want anybody to just take it away, there's a variety of different things you do, and that's for any of the things that we have.
Yep.
So
And along with a lock on, you want to make sure that you wear a fall arrest system, a harness. You want to make sure that system has what we call a climbing rope. This climbing rope I use for not only climbing, but when I'm installing, and we're going to show you how to install these tree stands. We're not going to get too far off the ground because the camera won't be able to see us, but we're going to show you the methods of how to safely install these stands, because I think that's where
Yeah.
a lot of people need help. But staying attached to the tree at all times is your number one safety rule. So make sure you've got a harness. Make sure that you are using that harness properly and staying attached to the tree at all times while you're climbing.
as soon as you take one step off the ground, you want to be strapped in some way to the tree.
Yep.
Okay. Don't climb up a few steps thinking, oh, it's only 5 foot. I just fall 5 feet. You can get hurt a foot off the ground.
We can fall standing on our feet and hurt ourselves.
Well, I do fall.
And then there's other equipment out here. This is called a lifeline. I think this rope is 25 foot long. And once you get, a lock-on stand, most of the time they're put up for at least a season, bow season or muzzleloader season. And if you got a really, really good place, it might stay up the entire hunting season. And if that's the case, then, once everything is up in the tree and the way you want it, then you can attach a lifeline. And then you attach to this when you climb, and it's a whole lot easier and faster. And yet you're still attached to that tree at all times. And we'll show you this in depth.
Now I use that even when I'm not going to leave the stand up overnight. Okay, I keep one with me. Okay, because if I'm on one of them all day sits, I might want to get down just to maybe go to the bathroom, eat lunch, do something else. So that way, when I go back up the tree, I don't have to get the linesman's rope out and try to go up the tree like that. With this, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Plus, I do think once these are up, it is much safer with a lifeline than trying to do with your lineman's rope. Your lineman's rope, it's not going to just stop you right then and there, but it is going to like wedge you up against the tree. Okay, so you still are going to fall a little bit. Okay, but this right here, you're only going to fall as much as what you got with this PureSig nut.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and again, we're going to get in depth with all this. So
We're going to take each one of these tree stands individually, and they may make their own show. So just don't worry if we're going too fast.
yeah. So lock on, use climbing sticks, and by all means, make sure you're using a harness and stay attached to the tree at all times.
So all of these things that we show you, this harness is going to be the key thing.
Yep.
Okay. There's only one that you won't be using the harness, and that'll probably be the last one we talk about.
Yep. All right. So we're going to move on to a climbing stand next.
So this is Jason's favorite.
Yeah, this is what we call a climbing stand. And y'all notice that I'm attached to the tree even though I'm a foot off the ground. A climbing stand is my favorite, although you know, a saddle is getting more and more popular, and the more I use it, the more I like it. But you know, sometimes I get pretty deep in the woods, and some days the rut's on and I want to stay all day.
Right.
This is just so much more comfortable for me, and so it's one of my favorites. But a climbing stand is, and I'm not going to climb because I'll get out of frame, but basically you hook your feet in the stirrup, and you know you're gonna lift and climb yourself up the tree. And again, Bob and I will get very detailed on these stands and how to use them safely and properly. But you know, it's very similar to a lock-on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, you've got these cables that wrap around the tree and allow you to lift that stand in kind of like little small steps up the tree, and you can climb. The only downfall though is if I got a tree limb sticking out here,
Like that one there.
yeah, like the one above my head here,
You either got to saw it off
or
that's it.
that's it. So
But if you go to the tree next to it, you guys can't see it, I know, but you can get up there 30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I am impressed about these things, that the only thing that limits the height on them is if you get to a branch or to a fork, okay?
And these won't work on every tree. You've almost got to have a perfectly straight tree with no limbs in order for a climbing stand to really benefit you. But
Now we didn't talk about, you know, I just said that this is almost unlimited on height, almost, where the lock-on is limited to the number of sticks that you have. So if you only got 3-foot sticks, you're only going to go so far. That's it. Okay. Now we can talk about other things and aiders and all that stuff, but there is a limit to how high you can go with a lock-on. This one, this is what you got. This is what takes you up the tree.
yep. And let's talk about height for a moment. You know, I've been hunting for a long time, and my height in any tree stand or elevated hunting position is between 12 and 20 feet.
I agree.
I don't go over 20 feet. And there's people out there that climb as high as they can climb. But I've found between 12 and 20 feet. I'm a big archery hunter, so the trajectory of the arrow, I don't want to get too technical, but the higher you get,
the steeper of an angle.
Steeper of the angle, and the smaller the kill zone is on deer, bear, and everything else.
You get too high, you're shooting them in the back.
Yeah.
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 So I was told this once, and I'm a firm believer. Only go as high as you need to go to get good cover.
Yep.
Okay. Once you get good cover, that cover could be 10 foot. If you got some good cover, leave it.
I've got a nephew that hunts from an elevated tree stand, and I guarantee you his are no more than 8 foot off the ground for two reasons. One, that's high enough. Number two, he's afraid of heights. So anyway, climbing stand, we'll get way more in depth. We will actually show you how to climb with it properly and safely using your harness. And so we'll come back to it. So,
and through one of these shows, we'll touch a little bit about heights, fear of heights, how to try to get over that. Because I'll be honest with you, I told this guy right here that I would not get up and into the tree with a saddle. Okay, and now I'm saddle hunting and I'm up 18 feet in the air. I used to be deeply afraid of heights, and I'll tell you how I got over it. Okay, but we'll save that for another show. Okay.
All right, so let's move on to the next one.
All right, guys, this is the new fad, or if not a fad, this is the new thing going right now.
Yeah,
is
but
saddles.
it's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just the past 5 years it's exploded.
Right.
So this is saddle hunting. So again, there's all kinds of different models and different ones out there, but basically it is a harness that you sit in. So, you know, I'm sitting on my butt and
Yep.
and it's very versatile and all that good stuff. So you see that I'm a foot off the ground here and I am attached to the tree. So this is my climbing rope. And so as I move up the tree, you know, I just move that up and I can step up. And this is totally adjustable in or out. I like to lean out to where I can kind of see what's going on and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into how these things work because we're just talking about an intro right now. This is my climbing device, and then this is my tether. So this tether, once I get at my hunting height, then I hook into my tether, right? And then this is totally adjustable. And I get into my position, and then I disconnect my climbing, and I insert that into my bag here to where it's out of my way. And then I'm in a hunting position. You've got all kinds of adjustments with this. Obviously, I would be on the platform and not my steps. But again, this is just an intro, and Bob and I will get in depth on how to use this, how to hunt from it, and all the versatility from it. So again, it's a saddle. You're sitting in a harness. You're constantly attached to the tree, which is number one rule. We've talked about it through all the stands, and we'll continue to talk about it.
There's talk out there right now that saddle hunting is actually one of the safest ways to hunt from an elevated position.
Because people are using them correctly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
In order to climb, you've got to be attached to the tree. Because here's the thing, and I don't want to get too in depth because we're getting there, folks. Stay with us. But the reason they're one of the safest is because you're attached to the tree, because you can't climb unless you're attached to the tree. And so, you know, if I'm one stick method, you know, I've got to climb up, and then I've got to get my feet against the tree, right? And then I've got to undo my climbing stick, so I'm hanging there, you know. I've got to unhook my climbing stick, bring it up to the next height so I can continue climbing. And I believe that's why they're one of the safest systems out there, is because in order to use them, you got to be attached to the tree.
Yeah, if you think about it, we just went through the hang on or the lock on. We went through the climbing stand, and we're going to go through the ladder stand next. Every one of them you can do without a harness. It's not recommended. We recommend that you are always connected, so don't misunderstand my wording.
That's right.
But it is possible, and people do it. And that's what's causing some of the incidences that we are having throughout the nation.
Yep. And that's why we're having less incidences with the saddles. They're still there's still incidences, but
Yeah.
not near as many. And I think the reason is in order to climb, you've got to be connected to the tree. So,
And that's all. This is just our personal opinion.
Yeah.
That's it. No facts behind it.
so again, this is the saddle. One of the pros is you can use this in any tree.
Yep.
As long as that tree is alive and not dead, and it's big enough, you can use this system no matter what. So that is, I think that's one of the reasons it's so popular.
The lightweight.
Plus, it's very versatile. I mean, I can position myself to, and it's quiet. But anyway, Bob and I will get into that once we get into in depth how to use
Each one of these devices.
each one of these safely. So,
Yep.
all right, let's move on to the ladder stand. Hey, Bob, the last one,
Last one.
and I'm gonna tell you.
I'll show you how high this is after we get done talking.
Yeah. So this is a ladder stand, and this is probably one of the most popular types of stands out there because private landowners, ranch owners, I bet you between me and my family, we've got a half a dozen ladder stands because we stick them up and they're there all year and year after year. Now, I want to talk about safety with that. It's recommended that tree stands are not left out all year long because the weather, animals, UV light can break down the straps that holds these things to the trees. So if you're like me and you're leaving a ladder stand out year round, year after year, I replace the ratchet straps that hold these things to the tree every year. Ratchet straps are not that expensive, and it is well worth not falling. So, but yeah, ladder stands are very, very popular. Downfall,
It takes more than one person to put up.
and they're not,
Even the smallest ones, you should have at least one other person to help you. Okay? Because you can get hurt.
yeah, and they're not very mobile.
No, they're not.
I mean, this is a two-man ladder, and I believe it's a 16-foot to the platform.
I mean, it's mobile, but you'll be putting this in the back of a truck, a four-wheeler, or something like that, dragging it out where you think you're going to be,
And you need help.
and you'll need help putting it up. So it's not permanent, but yet it is permanent.
Yeah.
Okay?
But a lot of people like them because, hey,
It's a ladder.
it's a ladder, and I think everybody's climbed a ladder at some point
It's
in their
no
life.
different than the ladder you may have in the garage, in the barn, in the workshop. You know, it's no different than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the rungs are same width, height, and the width is the same as that aluminum ladder you may have. Okay, the only difference is you got a nice little seat up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And a shooting rail on some
And a
of
shooting
them, all
rail
kinds
and-
of stuff.
now mine, the seat's only about like this wide, and the platform's only about like this, little bit. Okay?
Yeah.
But I told you earlier that that I used one of these methods to help me get over my fear of heights. This was it. Okay. Now, when I first put my stand up, I think I only put it up about 9 feet. Okay. And it was halfway through the season, and I was feeling really good, and I put the rest of the way up. I think it's up to 14, 15 feet or whatever it is now. Okay, and I don't have any problems going up and down that ladder and getting into it. But that's actually what helped me get over a fear of heights. So,
Good tip for you.
yep.
Now, just like every other tree stand, right here in Bob's hand is a lifeline. And this lifeline, even though I'm in a ladder, you still want to be connected to the tree at all times before you climb. So you definitely want to hook up a lifeline to a ladder stand because snowy, rainy weather, your feet can slip off of here. You know, there's all kinds of things that can happen, and this is going to keep you from hitting the ground. So,
Yep.
Tip: never leave the ground unless you've got a fall arrest system on and you're attached to the tree. Never.
So whether it's a lifeline or a lineman's rope or a climbing rope, okay, you need to have that attached. And don't do like what you may see on other shows on TV or what have you, that, oh, it's okay if I climb up this far and then I grab it up there. No, as soon as you make that first step, this should be connected.
Yep.
Okay. Now, that's part of the reason why you need help. Okay? Because when you go to put this thing up, you need to have this in place.
Well, this is actually you know, a proper way, and I think Bob's getting there, is you actually attach your line or your lifeline to your tree stand.
Exactly.
And then you get, for a stand this size, it takes at least 3 people. So it takes 3 people to set it up, get it into position, and then 2 people hold the ladder up against the tree while the other person attaches, climbs. So you're relying on 2 other people to hold that ladder and to keep it from slipping while you climb up, fasten that tree or that tree stand to the tree, and then you attach to the tree with your climbing belt, reposition your lifeline to the tree then, and then you're ready to go.
Now, what I do a lot of times is the straps that's up there, I'll have them hanging and I just wrap them around the tree to keep it up against the tree a little bit. It's not secured perfectly, but at least it's going to keep it from moving too much. But like Jason said, this is attached to the top of the tree or top of the stand, and when you get up there, you reposition it to the tree.
That's right.
Okay, and when you're up there, you could actually stay attached to this, put a lineman's rope on, go around the tree, just unattach this from the ladder stand, attach it back to the tree, and then you're safe.
Yep. Again, you're always attached to the tree in all of these systems for safe climbing and safe hunting.
So if you have some friends that will help you, if you got family members that you're hunting with, and you're a fear of heights, start with this. And you don't need to be super duper high.
Mm-hmm.
Go up 10 feet, go up 8 feet. I think you were telling me earlier. You were saying earlier that
my nephew
doesn't go any higher than 8 feet.
If he most of his stands, I'm not kidding, I can touch the platform with my hand. No kidding. And the boy kills deer and bear every year. So there it is. So
Okay.
all right.
Right. So
Hey, stay tuned for our next episode, right?
Yep.
Because we're going to
start going in detail on each one of these
Yep.
stands.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll probably start off with this one right here. And honestly, we may be in the same clothes.
see you next time.
Talk to you later. Get out in the outdoors.
And keep it simple.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please subscribe, leave a comment, share with others, and like this show.